The language of the universe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is silence. But Ya Allah, I pray to you, make inside of me more beautiful than what people think of me. But he has very high status in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because he is a good man from inside. Because for a Muslim, the utmost important thing for him is the success of Akhira. Every time you come across choices, remember this sentence: life is all about scoring. This is the really ingredient of success. No matter you live a secular life or you live a religious life, be sensitive about the feelings of other people. Last Friday khutbah, I was talking about desired person of Quran. And I have mentioned one hadith that I want to go back and reflect a little bit more about that hadith, in which Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that if you refrain from forbidden stuff, you will become the righteous, the most righteous among all human beings in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as I mentioned last week, Allah did not say here that whoever prays tahajjud or whoever prays 5 times in masjid. Rather, the approach Quran has taken is a very different approach. That whoever stops himself or herself from doing sin, that is such a great thing in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You become the most righteous in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reason is, whatever struggle you and me we go through in our life, nobody knows about it. Whatever sin I had the opportunity to do but I didn't do it, nobody will ever know about it except you. Our good deeds everybody knows. We come in a masjid, we read Quran, somebody will know when I do good deed. But what I am avoiding to stay the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nobody knows about it. So that means you are avoiding that sin because of the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you have fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you are feeling the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's why holding you back from doing that sin. In our life we all realize that as a human we have two parts. One is our outward look and one is our inward personality. And for Iman also, one is outward look, but more important in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our inward Iman, which goes to our heart, not just by uttering through our lips, rather what goes in our heart. And the best of the reflection of our Iman is our Islam. Islam is our actions. After I accept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as my only deity, as my Lord, whatever action I perform, that is Islam. For all these three, as a human being, for Iman and for Islam, there is one outward look and there is one inward personality. Action, spirit, ruh. More important for all three is what is inside, what is inward look of it. Islam is like a flower. Flower doesn't have to announce that I am here. A smell of flower can tell you that flower is around you. So the beauty of Islam is that Islam is what you are from inside. That's why, Rumi has said, the language of the universe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is silence. That's why, it is recommended in ahadith of Prophet Muhammad, make supplication, dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make my inside more beautiful than my outside. People see me, they appreciate, they acknowledge, and they say good words about me. But Ya Allah, I pray to you, make inside of me more beautiful than what people think of me. what people say about me. That is the beauty of Islam, my brothers and my sisters. That's why some of the scholars, they say, you might have somebody who prays his obligatory prayers. You may not see him that much in a masjid. You may have not ever witnessed that he is reading Quran, but he is very particular when it comes to avoiding sin. He will not take any bribe. He will not lie. He will do his business very honestly. In the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that person is better than somebody who is failing in his practical life, but he is in the first row of the masjid. He reads Quran maybe 10 juz every day. He gets up for tahajjud and stays, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for many hours. The person who was just fulfilling his obligations was not doing so much of good deed, but he was very particular about avoiding all the sins, avoiding any disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is a better Muslim in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why you remember that hadith in which Prophet says that there is a man, you may not acknowledge him. He is unrecognized in the community. He is unacknowledged in the community. Nobody pays attention to him. He is so insignificant in the eyes of the people because apparently he does not have what people use as a benchmark of success, as a benchmark to give importance to somebody. He may not have wealth, he may not have status, he may not have even so many good deeds to share with anybody. But Prophet says that if he takes oath on anything of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will fulfill his oath. Who is that person? Apparently, he is not in masjid all the time. Apparently, he is not acknowledged and recognized by the community, but he has very high status in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because he is a good man from inside. He is a good person from inside. So he is not just showing off. Rather, he is working on himself to make himself more beautiful from inside. And imagine the action of a person, even if it's little action, that who is more sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will have more weight and will have more value. My brothers and my sisters, my brothers and my sisters, this life, wallahi, is all about choices. Last few days I was thinking, this life is about scoring game. When you play any game, you want to make the highest score. You can make this thought a little bit bigger. In life, this is what our struggle is all about. To make bigger score, to get bigger numbers. In life, at every moment of our life, at every junction of our life, Allah puts some choices in front of us. And it's us, we choose which one I want to take. For example, I have a choice at 1:30 in the afternoon. I can go and pray, or I can stay in my home, or I can get busy at my business. 3 choices. Now I have to choose which one will make my score higher in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because for a Muslim, the utmost important thing for him is the success of Akhira. So whenever choices come in front of you, this is your choice. What score you want to make? You want to make 10, 20 or 100? So every moment, every junction of our life, if you look at the choices, pick the one which can give you the highest score. Yes, shaitan pulls us back. Shaitan puts, whispers in our mind, oh, you are so busy, you can do this here, no problem. Maybe next time you can go to masjid, maybe next time you can read Quran, maybe next time you can do sadaqah, maybe next time you could be nice to other people. But every time you come across choices, remember this sentence. Life is all about scoring. Life is all about scoring, that what choices we make in life determines our status in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My brothers and my sisters, I want to give you few more ideas that how we can become the desired person of Quran. What else can we do to become and to get more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? One thing I always advise my brothers and my sisters, and this is the really ingredient of success. No matter you live a secular life or you live a religious life, be sensitive about the feelings of other people. Be sensitive, be mindful of the feelings of other people. The hadith I shared last time with you, that Mu'min is one who wants for his brother what he likes for himself. And I shared the other part of the hadith, other side of the mirror, that he does not want for other brother what he does not want for himself. He doesn't want something for his brother what he doesn't like for himself. My brothers, to be sensitive and be mindful about the feelings and emotions and sensitive areas of other brothers and my sisters. I will also give you here a litmus test. How can I see and judge and analyze myself? How am I doing? And I'll give you some practical things to reflect and to see that how good I am doing as a human being. I'm not just talking about as a Muslim, as a human being. Few things I will share with you. Number one is how I honor my guest. How I take care of my guest. How welcoming I am for my guest. There are some people, if you go to their home, they will not let you go without eating. They will rather present to you everything they have in their house. Whole house is so welcoming for you that you feel like that you belong to that house. But there are some people that you go in their house and you can see on their face, you are not welcome. You can come, you can have a cup of tea, but then our ways should, separate. Second thing I will suggest here, how generous is your dining spread? How generous you are, how many people you can extend the wealth, the money, the food, the sustenance Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. So how many people benefit from your money to get their living? उर्दू में हम कहते हैं ना, अपने दस्तरखान को कुशादा करो. Expand your dining, table. Expand your dastarkhan. Invite more people. Include more people in your provision. Include more people in your risk. That will bring barakah in your risk. Here I will point out, it's not in my point, but I just want to share one thing which is a very common observation of most of us. When we are among people, we should be mindful of the people sitting with you on a dining table. For a dinner, even for dates. The culture I see more and more, and we have to teach to ourselves and to our kids. When you are sitting with group of brothers or group of sisters, you are not the only one on that table. There are 4, 5, 6 other brothers and sisters sitting there. You should be mindful of them. Our deen, this is the basic etiquette to share your stuff with other brothers and sisters. Instead of just filling your plate and you are not worried about the next person. There are lunch boxes available. You are taking 5 lunch boxes and you are not worried about the next person in the line, whether he will get even one or not. This culture I see, you have 3 dates, but person sitting next to you has only 1 date. As a courtesy, what kind of person you are if you will eat all those 3 dates without caring about your neighbor. That shows a lot about you. That tells, it's a little thing, but wallahi, like we see every day when we were doing iftar here, people are fighting, you can see people are running, people are jumping over the table to get the food. They don't care about the next person coming to get the food. These are basic manners and etiquettes as a Muslim that we should show to our fellow brothers and sisters, my brothers and my sisters. How open-hearted and open-minded you are towards other people. And I see most of us, we are very judgmental about people. How open-hearted and open-minded you are when you are dealing with other people. How do you speak of others in their absence? And how do you react if someone speaks ill of another person? Very, very important. That when you are talking about your brother in his absence, always say good words about him or her. Always say good words about him. And if somebody is talking ill about that person in his or her absence, then you should not just stay quiet. Because staying quiet means you are part of the ghiba. If you are not stopping that person, if you are not discouraging that person, it means you are part of the ghiba, my brothers and my sisters. If somebody is talking ill about somebody in his absence, while you are there, you should speak up. You should say something positive. Wallahi, I still remember those faces. That if somebody was talking negative about somebody and somebody stands up and speaks good about that person, look at the stature of that person, the status of that person. The last thing I will say, my brothers and my sisters, how do you treat those who are weak and vulnerable around you? This shows a lot about you and me, my brothers and my sisters. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us tawfiq. We can show our real humanity. We can show the beauty as a human being that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided and commanded us. Wallahi, our religion wants to make us so beautiful that wherever we will sit, people can feel the mercy. And I can tell you one thing. If you are good from inside, there are waves and vibrations. Their waves and vibrations, they speak on your behalf. You don't have to utter a single word. You don't have to say anything. This is the qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is how He has designed. You may have experienced many times that if you have hate about somebody in your heart, you don't even show that hate, but that person will distance from you automatically. Because there are waves and vibrations, they speak on your behalf. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our waves and our vibrations beautiful so we can attract more people around us. The last thing which I want to share with you, my brothers and my sisters, wallahi, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me tawfiq that I can explain this last section on this hadith, the message that I have understood from this hadith. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me words. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me tawfiq, because this is very important what I am about to share with you. Very important. That Allah looks at our tawbah, at our astaghfar, at our amal, our deeds, in reference, in perspective of our relationship with the fellow creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I am tahajjud guzar, 5-time prayer in the masjid, I am hafiz of Quran, I am alim, I am mufti, I may be XYZ, but I treat my wife very bad. I have taken money from people and I don't even think about giving it back. I'm so bad in public dealing, but I'm very good in salah. I'm very good in tahajjud. Wallahi, remember that hadith of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that person who is next to Kaaba and holding cloth of Kaaba and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his dua, his supplication, his tawaf, his etikaf has no value in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because hadith says what he is wearing is haram. The food he has in his stomach is of haram. So you have to understand this very concept, my brothers, that our salah, our Quran, our dua does not go very high if my relationship with the fellow human beings and fellow creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are bad. And people can raise question about that relationship. I rather work more harder to make that relationship better. If I have taken somebody's money, if I have stolen something, if I have somebody's piece of land that I am illegally occupying, if I owe somebody, if I treat people, ill, if I transgress the hukuk, the rights of other people, I oppress people right and left, I should be very mindful and careful about that. So my focus should, change. So our deen is a very practical religion, and that can only happen if my iman is in my heart. And I have the station of taqwa. And I am mindful that Allah is present. Allah is watching. Inna Allah kana alaykum raqiba. Allah is watching me. He is the one who is monitoring me. He knows what goes through my heart and mind. He knows my hidden things. He knows my weaknesses. He knows my limits. So I cannot hide anything from Him. So if I raise my hand and if I have obligations to fulfill, wallahi, I should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, give me tawfiq, that I have an intention to fulfill my obligation. I have transgressed, I have ill-treated somebody, but I will do my best to compensate that. My brothers and my sisters, the bottom line is, in our religion, hukukul ibad has preference. Hukukul ibad has preference. I come across many good people, wallahi, many good people. And if you look at them, they are like an angel. But if you look at their personal life, their practical life, how they treat people, how they do dealings with the people, how they do businesses, wallahi, I'm worried about those brothers and sisters. I'm worried about their good deeds. I'm worried about when they will stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is going to happen. So my brothers and my sisters, the message that I want to communicate through last two khutbahs, last one and this one, is that we should work on our inside. We should make our seclusion, our khalwa beautiful and better. We should make our iman more beautiful from inside. We should develop a special relationship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when nobody is watching us. We should be mindful. We should be mindful of the rights of other people. So nobody will have claim on that day. You remember that hadith? Just reminded me of that hadith in which Prophet ﷺ asked, who is the poor man? And people said, the one who has no money. He said, no. He is not the poor man. Poor man is the one who comes in on the day of judgment with lot of salah, lot of fasting, lots of umrah and hajj. But he has transgressed somebody's rights. He has slandered somebody. He has abused somebody. He has taken somebody's illegally some money. When these people will come with their claim, all his good deeds will be given to them. And now he still has people who are claiming. So Allah will put their sin in his account. He is the poor. He is the real poor person of the Akhira. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us, my brothers and my sisters, that we take care of our things in this life here. So when we depart from this dunya, every one of us has to go. Every one of us has to go, that we go light. We go light, and when we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah's angels are there for you and me. They have brought shroud from the Jannah, the smell of Jannah that everybody can smell. And they are here to welcome us and take our spirit in the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.